Hey guys, Digital Lifestyle here, back with another video, and this one's on the World Bank and the connection with Ripple and Stellar. I found. Let's go to the page and let me show you. 7 enter. Right, and they have up here proof of concept, point of sale, payments versus payments, and let me go down, and then we see who they're working with. Real-time gross settlement. That's a Ripple. Ripple does that. Where's Ripple? Ripple currency. You have Stellar Lumens currencies, and you have them talking about remittance price wholesale, Southern Africa development, Stellar consensus, Stellar decentralized exchange, special drawing rights, SDRs, I believe they're called, Singapore dollar, and these are the company. Well, the World Bank's working with these organizations to create real-time payments, etc., etc. And they're working with the CBDCs, and I believe that's part of Ripple's job at the moment. As I understand it, Ripple is working with these in development of CBDCs. I think it'd be better for me to put a link in the description. There's like 46 pages, and I am not going to go through all of them, not one little bit. But it's worth you guys doing your own research on this. Yes, this document is from 2021, but at the end of the day, they haven't changed it. Do you know what I mean? They haven't changed it. They are working with these companies, so you know it's better for you guys to do your own research in these areas. And I spoke about CBDCs before, so do your own research, guys. And here's a video I want to play you guys from Finastra. Finastra is working with MasterCard cross-border payments, IBIS, Management Associates, and MasterCard. So let me play you what MasterCard's going to say.
Mark, please, and then we can go over to Clark.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. So at MasterCard, we're known as a global payments network, right? So we looked at the assets we have and what's going on in the landscape, and we said, and particularly what can we do in push payments that hasn't been done before, and how can we help our banks more or better compete with some of the new digital entrants that are coming in and taking away a lot of their business. So through a series of acquisitions and product development, we went out and we built a global cross-border payments network, push payments network that interconnects banks, mobile network operators, and money transmitter organizations. And that enables us to push payments to over 100 countries, to bank accounts, mobile wallets, and cash pickup locations, as well as MasterCard and Visa cards. And really going back to Neil's point around choice, that's what we're looking to enable. So we leverage local infrastructure that is native to the senders and the receivers, and essentially offer them better transparency, increased speed. We could send to bank accounts in real-time markets in 53 markets. So it's all about providing greater choice and convenience, while ultimately providing a better user experience for our banks and their customers.
I just need to say that Finastra and Ripple are partners. So you're going to hear a bit more from Finastra itself. There you go.
That Mark was outlining, what do you see as the benefits to banks in particular?
I think, thank you for the question. I think one of the important things, if you look at in the world of payments, typically it's the real-time aspect as well as the integration part, which is typically a headache. And for banks, these are projects that take a lot of time and a lot of effort to make it work seamless. And looking at the partnership and looking at how we bring this solution, because the MasterCard cross-border solution is a very strong solution because of the variety of payment types. So you have the person to person, but you have the person to business, business to person, all these aspects. And how that compares to the traditional railways is that we can easily integrate, because it is part of an existing Finastra rail that we offer to our clients. So the integration part is done really fast, and it complies with all the steps that typically banks have in place already for cross-border payments, making it easier to end these payments in the various countries that Mark just described. So ending it in these various jurisdictions is quite easy, and so bringing an additional angle of value to our existing clients.
Right, you heard it there. Cross-border payments. In other news, HBAR surges 16% as Fed now adds Hedera project drop to service provider showcase. Drop, a micropayment platform built on the Hedera hash graph, has been added to FedNow Showcase among a variety of different tech solutions for the Federal Reserve's payment service. The crypto firm lets merchants accept payments for as little as a penny, making micropayments more accessible and practical. Moreover, as pointed out by the Fed, the user's credentials are not shared with merchants using Drop. So that's great news for Hedera. Hedera is not on the ISO 2022 list, however, or 222 list. However, the Fed now is using that particular product, and that tells you, or that token, that tells you that they are now catching up and they're making their own rules around certain crypto products they want to use. As I said, HBAR is one of the tokens I have in my bag. Not financial advice, I'm not telling you to go and get it, not at all, but I do have it in my bag. The writing's on the wall when it comes down to what's going on with digital assets. And I'm going to show you what Rosie Rios has said with regard to that. Here it comes, hopefully.
Rosie, when you think about the intergenerational wealth transfer that's going to go on, what do you think about?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. And if you're only thinking about it now, you're behind the 8 ball. Mm-hmm. The train has left the station. I keep saying that, and it's absolutely true, especially when it comes to this topic. So what people need to realize about intergenerational wealth is it's already happening, right? So we're talking about so the boomers, which is my generation, we have the most discretionary income. But this next generation, basically, the millennials, although it's pretty much anyone born in the mid-90s and later, are going to inherit this opportunity to really think about investments in a totally different way. So when you think about those generations, so technically, the millennials or anyone born between 1980 and 1996. Mm-hmm. But again, look, my son's 26, my daughter's 21. I call them the Robin Hood investor, right? Mm-hmm. But in reality, these are kids who grew up with the internet, right? So anyone who's grown up with the internet, they see the world as very flat. It's no longer what they're taught at home, what they're taught in the classroom. It's what they see. It's what they've learned, the good, the bad, the ugly of the internet. They're very tech savvy, they're very confident, but they don't have the experience that perhaps a lot of wealth managers, financial analysts, managers, etc. need to really understand how to think about their investments. So for me, it was very important that I get into their heads. My daughter's 21, my son is 26. When I left the Obama administration in 2016, after serving both terms, I studied these kids, I call them kids, for 2 years at Harvard. And I really wanted to understand kind of the social, political, economic way that they think and how they behave. And for them, it's kind of this one and done world, right? It's set it and forget it. Right. Technology means everything to them. They're very, very confident, they're very progressive, and they're very savvy. But again, they lack a lot of the world experience that my generation still has. So even here now in this economic downturn, this unprecedented economic downturn, this is where, in my opinion, the wealth management industry has a huge opportunity.
So you're hearing it from 43rd Treasurer of the United States. She is on the board of Ripple, calling it as it is. The train's already left the station. Digital assets are here. They are being adopted. I mean, these are the clues that they're leaving you, but I don't think a lot of people are picking up on that. 99% of the population of the world does not get this yet. Well, Caroline Bowler, who is Australia's, I believe, head of finance, whatever they want to call it over there, and the interview that she's had with this lady here, right, and about the SEC ruling and how it affects the markets, or how it affects the countries involved anyway. Listen.
What's happened with the SEC, right? And a U.S. judge finding that XRP is not a security when it came to mass retail, but when it was sold to institutional participants, it was considered a security. So these nuances coming out of the US, do they have influence on jurisdictions like Australia? When you take a look at that, does that have a precedent-setting impact? How do you, as industry leader, and how does Australia, from a legal perspective, view a ruling like that?
I think it's influential in the sense that, of course, what the SEC does is influential around the world. And you would, any regulator or legislator is going to look at what they do and take it into consideration. But their decision that XRP is not a security, I think, mirrors what we saw out of Japan years ago, where they said it wasn't a security. And certainly here in Australia, it didn't match up with the local tests around what a security was for XRP. You can't retrofit a lot of what we saw in traditional finance into crypto because of the fact that this is so new, and there is then that opportunity for nuance, which nobody really wants, like, no, apart from lawyers perhaps, but certainly anybody who's running a business doesn't want there to be any legal nuance. So you want that clarity. For me, certainly sitting here in Australia, I look at what the UK is doing very closely. Australia looks very closely at the UK anyway. There's obviously the historical connections between the two countries, but from what I can understand, there is a lot of a very close relations between the two from a government and regulatory point of view. But I also think with the UK, they've got a history of taking on opportunities in financial services and really making something of it. Certainly the Big Bang and et cetera, et cetera. And so there is a lot of very, very smart people in the UK, in and around London, in the financial services, who are absolutely working on what will be probably the next big thing. And even though there's a thing outside of Europe now, I still think that their impact will be felt across the European Union and certainly across into the US and hopefully here to Australia.
So you're hearing it there. The USA really doesn't really matter when it comes down to making financial regulations. The UK have been doing that for decades. They were the first ones to I think trade finance. So hence they went with XDC, for the legal documentation. So we're seeing a massive change coming on, and again I'll say, like, the Fed now is using Hedera. And we have the UK using XDC in trade finance, but with documents. And the Fed now is using Hedera Hashgraph with micropayments. So they're adopting certain solutions for different things, but at the same time, they're going to adopt the Ripples and the XLMs of the world. And these tokens are the utility tokens. And as I understand it, and this is just me saying this, I think the XDC and the Hedera Hashgraph are just, or the XDC is more so for trade documents per se, 100%. That's going to facilitate trade finance across the globe much more efficiently. And then the Hedera Hashgraph is for micropayments. So anyway, I'm going to end this video. I'll be back again with another one, possibly tomorrow. Like and subscribe, but please pay attention to what's going on. Yeah, do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. Yes, I'm playing you these videos from different people and all that kind of stuff. But yes, at the same time, I'm hoping it will highlight or show you what is happening. Okay, take care, guys. Bye.